In this tutorial today, I'm going to show you guys how to achieve those melanin skin tones of your portraits, and this image was taken by a photographer. I'm going to put his link to his channel in the description below, and let me show you guys what I did for this particular image before I can go in and show you guys how to achieve those melanin skin tones on your portraits. So what I did for this particular image, you can see, let me turn this off. I show you guys what I did for this tutorial, and before I can go ahead, I'm Ronix from Ronix Photography. Yeah, thank you for watching. So I want to show you guys what I did. Let me turn off this group. So this was the initial image after my camera roll. Then what I did skin retouching, and I used frequency separation. So I can put the link up so that you guys can check out how I do retouch my images using frequency separation. So after doing my frequency separation, I came and I had to do some global dodging and burning to add more dimension to the image, because when I was doing my frequency separation, I kind of flattened my image, you can see. So I did a global dodging and burning to contour or add and enhance the highlights and the shadows of this image. Then I created a stamp visible layer and I had to duplicate it. So what I did afterwards, I played around with the greens. Right here you can see the background. I made them a little bit of yellow, and I also went to my camera roll and I did a little bit of eye whitening. You can see the eyes were a little red or orange, so I had to turn them white. So after that, I came back and created another layer on top of that. So I had to do a little bit of balancing the colors. You can see the chest area right here had so much magenta and it was not matching with the face, so I had to select it and blend it with the face, the colors of the face. So this is all I did. So I had to group everything I did. So this was the image initially before, and this was after. Before, after, you can see how beautiful the image looks. So I'll show you guys how I do color grade my images and achieve those melanin skin tones. And if at all you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe this channel. So we are going to start by creating a stamp visible layer on top of all we did by clicking Shift Alt Control E on the keyboard to create a stamp visible layer. So we're going to come right down here and we're going to select black and white. So this is where the magic is going to take place. So as you can see, the image is already in black and white, and some little trick about this black and white. Remember, when you're doing your frequency separation and you're using a mixer brush tool, make sure you turn on this, you convert your image into black and white, because it shows you where the imperfection in the skin tones is, and you can see this image is really crisp, clean, and the tones are really blended. So enough of that. After creating this black and white, remember we are achieving that melanin skin tone look in Photoshop. So come right here to the blending and select multiply. As you can see, the image already looks dark, but we are kind of achieving that melanin skin tone look. So come to the opacity and drop down the opacity a little bit. So come back to your black and white adjustment layer, and still this time we are going to go in for overlay for this time. So you can see the image already looks dark and beautiful, so we are going to come and drop down the opacity again a little bit. So we are going to also come back to our black and white. Remember, black and white kind of gives us those rich melanin tones in the shadows and part of the midtones. So that's why we are using the black and white more often. So come, and this time we are going to add a multiply blending layer on top of our initial overlay layer. So come and drop down the opacity, And as you can see now, our image looks dark. So you can as well come and play around with these sliders to enhance those colors in the image. So let's try and play around with this. I'm going to leave it at this. So remember, when we are applying all these black and white layers, our image initially got darkened. So we are going to come right down, and we are going to come to our we are going to come to our brightness and contrast layer right here, and we are going to add a little bit of contrast to the image. So we are going for 15 for this portrait, and now we are going to come to our brightness, and we are going to add a little bit of brightness to this image. So we want to gain back the initial brightness for this image. So you can see we have now achieved the brightness we are trying to go in for. So if you feel this is not enough for you, let me show you guys something else. Come right to your color balance right here, and you can play around with what you want for the midtones and the shadows and the highlights. So as you can see, my highlights are kind of too much yellowish. So let me come to the highlights, and I blend them in a little bit more because they were too yellow, and I'm going to add a little bit of blues to my highlights right there. So let me turn this down a little bit, and let me come right back to my midtones. And for my midtones, let's add in a little bit of yellows to the midtones. I think this is fine. So let me group all we have done for our color grading. Shift and click on the lower layer. Ctrl G to group them, so we can name this color grade. Color grade. So you can see the before, after. So this is how you do achieve those melanin skin tone looks. And if at all you feel this is too much for your liking, just come and you can drop down the opacity, yeah, to the one of your liking. I think we are fine at around 38. You can see the before after, there is no much difference, but we have tried to achieve those melanin skin tone looks. And yeah, this is how we do achieve those melanin skin tone looks in Photoshop. And we didn't want to turn the model really dark, so that's why we had to keep it subtle and beautiful at the same time. So I'm Ronix from Ronix Photography, and if at all you love this specific tutorial of color grading, don't forget to hit the like button on this video, and don't forget to drop a comment in the comment section. And if at all you are watching this video from this channel for the very first time, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell when you do subscribe to this channel. I'm Ronix from Ronix Photography. Thank you for watching. See you in yet another retouching tutorial.